Welcome to Introduction to Maya series. I am your instructor Rohan Page. In this video, we will learn the fundamentals of rigging. What will be our workflow? We will understand the set-driven key, how it works. Basically, set-driven key is useful to create a link between the attributes of one object and other object. Let's start with the session. With keyframe animation, you can key an attribute value to a time in the time slider. You repeat this process with different values at different times to animate the object. But when you need to animate multiple objects or attributes that interrelate, setting keyframes can quickly become a complex task. Now, setting driven keys is a technique for driving the animation of one object or attribute using another attribute. With driven keys, you create a dependent link between a pair of attributes. A change in the driver attribute then alters the value of the driven attribute. Once you establish this relationship between attributes, you don't need to animate the driven attribute separately. It occurs automatically as you animate the driver object. So let us see how we can create this relationship of driver and driven. With a simple example. I'll just open an example. So over here I have this object. I have a car, I have a toll booth. What I need to do is when this car, let me just group the car objects. I'll just enter the pivot. So when this car moves towards the booth, the door should get open and car shall pass this attribute. Shall pass this toll booth. So let's create this example. How to work it out. So basically over here we can connect a link between the translation and rotation of these two objects. To do so, you need to go to animation module, key, and there we have an option called as set driven key. Choose this option, set. It will open up a floating window of set driven key. The shortcut you can say SDK. Um, it has two different windows, that is driver and driven. So basically driver will be controlling the attribute of driven object. Whenever you will make any kind of changes in the attribute of driver object, it is going to affect the linked attribute of driven object. So let us see how it works. You need to define in this example that which is the driver object. Our driver object is the car. So select the group of the car, click on this option over here called as load driver. It is going to show you at the left side the name of the object you have selected, that is group 1, and at the right side of this table you will get the attributes, keyable attributes of that selected object. Now I need to define the driven object. My driven object is this bar. So I'll just click on this load driven. It will show me the selected object's name, that is polycube 3, and at the right side I am getting the keyable attribute of that driven object. Now I need to define the link of two attributes between these two objects. So to check it out, what you can do is first of all just freeze the transformations of the groups so that it will be easy for you while working. So just try moving it. It is a z-axis translation which has to be linked with the rotation z of this bar, or you can say gate, right? So how to connect it? You just need to click on the driver. I want to connect driver's translate z attribute with gates rotate Z attribute. Key it. Now I'll close it. Don't close it. Basically, you have keyed it, and you can see now the rotate Z attribute of the gate is shown or displayed in an orange color, which means it has got the link between other object, right? So now I need to define how it is going to work. First of all, select the group, translate the car till the area where you want this gate. It should pass like this, and then I'll rotate the gate like this, right? And then you need to key it so that computer will remember that this is the position where car will come and gate needs to be get rotated till this angle. Key it. Now the car should pass, and this gate should come down to its rest position. Key it. So I have given it two different types of keys. A key where car will arrive at this place and gate will open. When car will pass through that gate, the gate will come to its rest position. And now see how it works, right? So you just need to move it. Gate is opening automatically. You need not to animate it manually, that gate. You just need to animate the car, right? So let me just set the key. So now you can see how it is affecting. If you want to make this animation little bit slow, you can increase the number of keyframes and shift this key. Hold shift, left mouse button, and just drag the keyframe and play it now, right? So this is how you can create a relationship between the attribute of one object with the other. Now let us see how we can create such kind of link with multiple objects and multiple attributes. Okay, so let's take another example. Let's create another example. So for example, I'll just create a cube. Just raise the transformations. Now what I want to do over here in this example, if I'll move this cube at the positive x-axis, all my these cubes, the vertical cubes, should get rotated in the respective direction, that is rotate y towards the direction of that cube, right? So they should rotate like this. If my cube move towards this position, they should rotate in this axis, right? So basically there are multiple objects over here we have, and how we can connect the link between these two. So let's start. Go to key, set driven key, set. Select all other objects and load it as driven. Now you can see that while I was doing this, let me just repeat it for you again. Go to set driven key, set, select driver, load it. Now I have multiple objects over here. So I have selected all the objects where I want to create the link. Click on load driven. Now you can see I am getting the list of the driven object, but I am not able to see the keyable attributes. So just select all the attributes, all the driven objects, and you will see the keyable attributes of those objects, right? So now I want to connect translate X with rotate Y attribute of all these objects. Key it. When I'll move this object till this area, all the driven object should rotate in that direction. So I'll just use that rotate Y towards this direction. Key it. When the attribute, this driver object moves towards other side, all the cube, vertical cube, shall rotate at this direction. Key it. Close. Select it. Now I'll just mention the value 0. Select it and now move. Now you can see that it is affecting the translation or attribute of my driver object is affecting the rotation attribute of multiple objects at a time. So this is one example of set driven key. Now let us see how we can use set driven key to link the tires of car with the movement of car. That means when car is moving, the tires should rotate accordingly, right? So let us see that example. I have a car over here. I'll just use a default material. Okay. My car tires are in combined mode, so I'll go to polygon or modeling, separate them and center the pivot. I'll just require to connect these edges for further use. Okay. Now what I want to do over here is, first of all, to create such kind of example, you need to select all the parts of the car, create a group, center the pivot and rename this group as car. I'll just scale it down. I don't want such a huge scale over here. Okay, now I want to create this kind of link that when car moves in translate Z or minus translate Z, tire should rotate according to that direction. Like if it is moving in positive Z, it should rotate in positive X and negative X. So how to create such kind of link between the car and the tire? Because over here we cannot just randomly go and connect the translate Z attribute with rotate X. Here we will require to calculate the rotation of that car, tire, which means how much distance car will go and tire will complete its one rotation. Okay, so for that purpose we can use one formula. Let me just tell you that formula. D is equal to 2 pi r, okay, where r will be the radius of tire and you know that the value of pi is, that is 2 into 3.14 into r, right? So basically this formula becomes d is equal to 6.28 into r, right? And what we need to do is we just need to find out the r, that is radius of tire, and multiply that with 6.28, and whatever answer you will get, that will be the distance car should travel to complete the tire's one rotation. Okay, so let us see how it works. Now how to measure that tire's radius? First of all, go to side view, go to create menu. There we have an option called as measure tool, distance tool. Click over here, press 4 on your keyboard. Now I want to measure the distance from center. Click over here, you will get one locator, and click and hold the left mouse and drag that second locator to the end of tire, and here you get the value of 1.33. Forget about the whole value, just take 2 digits after the point, 1.33. That is the radius. Now just calculate it and apply it. 6.28 into 1.33 equals to 8.35. That is the distance car should travel, and then only tire will get a one complete rotation. So 8.35. Now again take that measure tool, recently used tool. Click at the end of this tire over here. This is the rest position. Alt B to change the background color if you want to. 8.35 is the value. What you can do is you can just simply leave this locator over here, then select this locator and use move tool to get that value, 8.35 approximately. I'm getting that approximate value, 8.36 around it. And now I'll change the background color, Alt B. What I need to do is, now I have the distance. Car should move till this locator and the tire should get one rotation, complete rotation. As we know that all the size of the tires for this car is same, so I need not to check the radius of each and every tire. If you have any other vehicle which is having the different sizes of the tire, then you will have to calculate the radius. To create the link, I'll go to animation module, set driven key, set. Now driver will be our car group. Select the group, load driver, and driven is all the 4 tires. Load driven. Select all those tires so that you will get the keyable attributes of that tires. So the connection we need to create is between Z axis of the group with X rotation, right? So just check it out whether it is positive X or negative. Positive X it is. Connect cars, translate C with rotate X, key it. Now select the car group, move it till the locator, and then select the tires and just mention the 360 degree value over here. So it will complete one rotation, key it. Now just check it out. You can see the tires are getting rotated as soon as I am moving the car, right? But there is one problem. When when this car passes beyond this locator, then car tires are not getting rotated, right? So how to overcome this problem? I want to uh, have these rotations throughout infinity range. Wherever my car will move, the tire should get rotated till the infinity range. Now what to do about it? Just select car group and tires, go to window, animation editor, graph editor, press F so that you will be able to see the graph. Now I'll select all graph. First of all, make it linear, go to curve, make it linear, tangent, linear, right, so that there will be no slow in slow out in the animation of the tires, right? And now I want that rotation to be happened throughout infinity range in post and pre uh, of that locator. So go to curve, I'll add pre-infinity cycle with offset, so it will add the rotations as soon as car will move progressively, and post infinity cycle with offset. So whether I'll move backward or forward, it is going to add that rotation automatically. Just check it out now. You can move that car at any distance and the tires are getting rotated accordingly. So basically calculating that distance is going to give you the perfect rotation, right? So in this way we can use this set driven key. So here I have connected the translate Z attribute with the rotation of my tires, right? So this is set driven key, and the use of this set driven key is also there for connecting the link between controllers and the joints, which we will be learning when we will have the bike belt rigging section. So let us see what we have learned in this video. What we learned in this video. We have seen that set-driven key allows to connect any keyable attribute of one object with multiple keyable attribute of multiple objects at a time. With driven keys, you can create a dependent link between a pair of attributes. A change in the driver attribute that will be altering the value of driven attribute. For any further query, you can follow me on Facebook. You can write me an email at rohan.pageanimator@gmail.com, or else you can join my classroom or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.